So if you've been keeping ball pythons for any amount of time, this is going to happen at some point to you. Let me give you a quick sort of scenario that you can sort of imagine. You're in your reptile room, or you're in whatever place you keep your ball pythons, and you ever roll your ball python out, he's running on the floor, something like that. You look away for a split second, and then you look back and your snake has its head, neck, and part of its body jammed beside the door, or under the door, or in a, space in a rack that you have, or jammed in sort of a small space in a metal rack that you have. Just, the snake has got itself to a point in some sort of space, it's jammed itself in there, it's tightened its muscles up, it's pulled lots of air in, and you try to get the snake out, you can, just lightly try to pull on it, that snake is not going to come out. So what do? Well, most people in this situation normally freak out, and they get all worried and stuff like that, and for good reason, because depending on where your snake is stuck, it could be in, danger. I mean, if it's just stuck in a little rack or something like that, no worries, but if your snake is, going down like a vent or something in your house, where it could get really stuck or get really hurt, then you have to start to worry. So why do ball pythons do this? I've held many different species of snakes, all the way from boa constrictors, sand boas, colubrids, corn snakes, milk snakes, you name it, I've probably held it. And I find that ball pythons do this the most, and why is that? Well, my sort of hypothesis or prediction is that because in Africa, ball pythons, if they're running away from something, slithering away from something, or if they are trying to get away from a predator or something like that. Not that they see you as a predator, but they're trying to get away from you in some cases. They're going to go down in a termite mound or go down in some space, they're going to tighten up their muscles, pull a bunch of air in, and the predator can tug all they want. They are not going to get that snake out of that hole, because the snakes that would get pulled out of that hole would probably be getting eaten, or if they're being captured by somebody that's trying to export them, they of course would get exported over to the United States. To be 100% honest, the only thing you can really do if you are put in this situation is just to make sure that your ball python is, safe, nothing's bad is going to happen to them, and just wait it out. I've had to wait, close to half an hour one time when I had a chair, and the chair has the cracks in them, ball python got stuck in that crack, not going to get that snake out, okay? It was actually the same exact snake, which was the pastel het, or possible het lavender albino female. Got stuck in the chair, I said alright, left her in the living room, came back to check on her every few minutes, and about 20 to 30 minutes later, she finally decided, you know what, I'm going to come out. Now, quick tip for you guys. You really can't pull the snakes out, like I said, you just have to wait it out, but you can encourage them to go a little bit faster. I found that if you take just a spray bottle with just lukewarm water, doesn't have to be hot, not cold, just about room temperature, and you spray it on the back of the snake, chances are that snake's going to think, oh my gosh, a predator is going to get me or something, and it's going to start slithering its way out. Now, if the snake is, of course, in a hole where you know that the hole is too small for the snake's body to fit through, you're going to want to do it to the opposite side, so try to spray their neck. Another thing you can do, and some people are going to say this is not the nicest thing to do to the snake or whatever, it's not bad, it's just something that I've found to work much better, is to sort of poke the snake on its back. Now, you of course don't want to do this really hard, and you don't want to be applying lots of force, because we're not trying to push the snake out of the hole. We're just trying to encourage it to do it on its own. You are never, and I mean never, going to get a ball python out of that situation where it is stuck in something without doing a lot of damage to the snake's scales, and eventually if you go too hard, you're going to crack a rib or something like that, which is really not going to be good for the snake, let alone, the pain the snake's going to suffer through all that. So just a little bit of poking and prodding on the end. Again, nothing much, just, basic touching them just like that on their back, and especially, messing with their tail a little bit, just kind of holding their tail, stroking their tail. They really don't like that, especially if they're in a vulnerable position. And most of the time, what you'll do is after you touch them a little bit, they'll just start to slither all the way out, slowly but surely, either through the front, or like I said, if you know for a fact that that hole is too small and their body is not going to be able to go all the way through it, you can do the exact same thing with spraying some lukewarm water or poking sort of their neck. I wouldn't recommend poking their head, but just lightly tapping their neck to get them to back out of the hole or whatever crack they happen to be stuck in. If it is a major situation where their snake is literally going to risk having very bad health problems, or it's going to die from doing that, you can use your strength to work that snake out of that situation by, just moving the snake a little bit this way and sort of working it out with your muscles and, just with your own strength. But again, if you do that, I would only recommend doing that if it is a life-threatening situation for your snake, because you are going to damage the snake's scales on the belly, sides, and of course anywhere else that they are touching in this hole or crack, whatever it is. As you work that out, scales are going to get ripped, scales aren't going to get damaged, and normally it will fix within 1, 2, maybe 3 shed cycles, but again, it's not what you want to be doing if your snake is just, stuck in a rack and it's not life-threatening. Another thing you could do is take just water, or I've even done this before, where you take like a safe soap like Dawn or something like that that isn't going to be, harmful to your snake, and you sort of lubricate the snake with that. It sounds a little bit weird, but you're going to, kind of mix that in, if you can, in whatever crack it is or hole on the side of the snake, and that can help you work the snake out a lot more. Again, I don't recommend using either of those methods unless it is an absolutely life-threatening thing for your pet snake. So I hope you guys did enjoy today's video, and I hope that this never happens to any of you guys, but from my experience and what I've heard with other reptile keepers and stuff like that, if you keep a ball python for 1, 2, 3 years, and especially if you keep multiple ball pythons, it's not really a matter of if it will happen, it's more of a matter of when it's going to happen to your pet ball python. If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns about this topic, please leave all those down in the comment section below. I want to thank you guys very much for watching today's video, and I'll see you guys in the next video.